Notes 5.6, applications of systems of equations. So before we dive into this, so they're word problems. And systems of equations we've already been doing, okay, for quite some time now. Now we're just making them word problems. So the key is, like with any word problem, we've got to pick out our key words, our key math words. We may need to underline or highlight, and then we've got to write the equations, and then you're going to be able to solve those problems from there. So before I get started, I just want to say, what if you bought 6 binders, okay, you went to Staples, you had to get 6 binders, and you paid the cashier $24, okay, 6 binders, and you paid the cashier $24. How much was each binder? 6 binders, and you paid $24 for them. Your total was $24. How much was each binder? So hopefully you're saying in your head, $4, Mrs. Swinson, it's $4. Yes, that's absolutely the case, because you would take the $24 and divide it by 6 and get that each binder is $4. Okay, so let's translate that, okay, to some algebra. So we said 6 times the number of binders equals $24. Well, like I said, let's make it algebra, so let's just use some numbers and letters. So I could say 6b equals $24, and I'd say solve for b. And you divide by 6, and you get b equals 4. So we're going to need that skill when we start to look at these word problems. So the first thing here, it says, don't forget to write the solution. Okay, we know what the solution is. Okay, that's our final answer. It goes in parentheses. Sometimes we're going to see something a little bit different here. Okay, so it says Alexa purchased 12 pens and 14 notebooks for $20, and Hannah bought 7 pens and 4 notebooks for $7.50. Find the price of 1 pen and the price of 1 notebook algebraically. Okay, so we've got a word problem. Now let's translate the English into math. So the one that I highlighted in yellow, so Alexa. So 12 pens plus 14 notebooks equals $20. Right? 12 pens plus 14 notebooks equals $20. Now let's talk about Hannah. 7 pens plus 4 notebooks, and she spent $7.50. So now let's make this more, we've got an equation here, but now let's make it a little more algebraic. So let's take the words out of it and let's just put some letters. So let's see if I can move this and shrink this down a little bit. And we'll do the same thing with this one and shrink it down so we've got a little bit more space. Okay, so now let's make it algebra. Let's see, 12p, okay, p for pens, 14n for notebooks equals 20. 7 pens plus 4 notebooks equals $7.50. So right now, okay, we've got things that are lining up. So hopefully you're starting to see, oh, this should be elimination. I've got the p's, the n's, and then the constants all lined up. So now we've got to create opposites here. We've got to create opposites to be able to get something to eliminate. So I'm going to make the choice, and I think I'm going to eliminate the p's. Okay, so I've got 12 and 7. So, wow, 12 and 7. I got to think, what can make these opposites? So I think I might just go to 12 times 7. And let's see, we get 14, 84. Holy smokes! Okay, so we've got to make an 84 and a negative 84. So I'm going to have to multiply, okay, my first equation by, I think I'm going to choose a negative 7 on the top. So that'll give me a negative 84 on the top. So then I've got to multiply my bottom equation by a positive 12. that will give me a positive 84. So for those of you who are like, I still don't see it, let's multiply. Okay, let's distribute. So let's distribute and rewrite. So we end up with negative 84p minus, let's see, what is 14 times 7? 98, okay, minus 98n equals negative 140. Just going to make that a little bit neater. Equals negative 140. And now let's distribute on the bottom. And we get 84p plus 48n equals, I'm going to pause on 750 times 12. Okay, grab your calculator if you haven't already. Okay, I came up with, when I did 12 times 750, do that one more time. There we go, 90. Now, let's draw the line and let's get things to eliminate. Negative 84p plus 84p, there's my opposites, cross them out. And now I've got to say negative 98 plus 48 for my n's, and I get negative 50n equals negative 140 plus 90 gives me negative 50. Oh, this works out kind of nice. Divide by negative 50 because we're going to find out n, which is our cost for a notebook. Negative divided by negative is a positive 1. So notebooks are $1. Okay, so I'm going to erase my little scrap paper over here. So I'm going to write that, or I'm going to highlight that for right now, and then we'll do a little summary in the end. So now if I've got the cost of the notebooks, I've got to find the cost of the pens. So take that n equals 1 and plug it back into one of the originals. I think I'm going to plug it into that second original. So I'm going to say 7p plus 4 times $1. The notebooks were $1. N was $1. 750. 7p plus 4 equals 750. I've got to subtract 4 from both sides. So 750 minus 4 gives me 350. Divide by 7. I'm just a little tight on space here. And I end up with 50 cents for a pen. Okay, 50 cents. Please don't use that silly little cent sign. Okay, use the $sign with the decimal point. So where can we summarize this? Let's see. Because like I said, we're a little squeezed on space. So we've got that notebooks are $1 and pens are 50 cents. Decimal point with a $sign, okay? 50 cents. That's my solution. So this one's kind of harder to write in terms of a coordinate with your parentheses and a comma. So your final answer is totally acceptable to write this out. Whoops, I shouldn't use that color to highlight. Okay. You're going to write it out, whatever you're solving for, okay, just like I did. Right. Let's go to that next one. Okay. Tyler has a collection of grasshoppers and crickets. He has 561 insects in all. Okay. Total. Oh. 561. So a collection of grasshoppers and crickets. The number of grasshoppers is twice the number of crickets. Find the number of each type of insect that he has. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say we're going to call grasshoppers G, okay, and crickets C. Oh, I think I'll put that G, crickets C. And he has 561 insects in all. So if he counted up all the grasshoppers and all the crickets, he'd get 561. So would you agree with me that grasshoppers plus crickets equals 561? That's 561 insects. Now my second equation gets a little trickier. It says the number of grasshoppers is twice the number of crickets. Which one don't we know anything about? Let's reread it. the number of grasshoppers is twice the number of crickets. You don't know anything about the crickets, okay? So the crickets are equal to twice the grasshoppers. Twice the grasshoppers. Twice means 2G. Okay, 2G. Find the number of each type of insect. So now, looking at this one, looking at the way this problem sets up, I have C all by itself. So, couldn't I substitute in for that C? I could do substitution here. Okay, this one sets up kind nicely. All right, so if I take that 2G and put it in for that C, that might make my life a little bit easier. So rewriting that first equation, I have G plus, here's the substitution, 2G equals 561. Okay, so I've got 1G plus 2G equals 3G equals 561. Divide by 3. Put that up here. So G is equal to, again, go to your calculator, 561 divided by 3 equals 170, or excuse me, 187. 187 what? What's G stand for? Grasshoppers. Okay, so now we've got to find the number of crickets. So I've got 187 grasshoppers, but how many insects did I have total? I had 561 insects total. So I could find the number of crickets. It doesn't matter, either equation would be just fine. Okay, if I've got to find the number of crickets, I think I might use that second equation because it's C equals 2 times the number of grasshoppers. So what is 2 times 187? And that gets me 374 crickets. That's a lot of bugs. Okay? All right. Let's highlight that. So I've got the crickets and I've got my grasshoppers. Now let's do the last one. Okay? It says a total. Oh, let's underline those keywords. Total of 600 tickets were sold for a concert. If the tickets sold in advance were $25 each, and the tickets sold at the door were $32 each, and $16,309 worth of tickets were sold, how many of each type were sold? Okay? So what two types of tickets do we have? We have advance tickets, we'll call that A, and we have at the door tickets, and we'll call that D. Okay, so how many tickets were sold? Okay, how many total tickets were sold? 600. That's total. So advanced plus at the door equals the total tickets. Now we have to think about the money. Okay? How much were the advanced tickets? How much did the advanced tickets cost? They cost $25. Okay, so 25 times the number of advanced, plus at the door, okay, a little bit more expensive, 32D, 32 times the number at the door, equals how much money, okay, was brought in. Okay, that's how much money was, and that's the money that was gathered from the ticket sales. Okay, so looking at this one, I would say, okay, the A's line up, the D's line up, and the constants line up. But in this one, I think I might go substitution because I've got some big numbers there. So if I were to go substitution, what could I do with this this first equation, A plus D equals 600? I think I'm going to take this first equation and I'm going to solve for A. So if I were to solve for A in that equation, I'm going to rewrite it. A plus D equals 600, and I'm going to solve for A, so I'm going to subtract D from both sides. A equals 600 minus D. So if I'm going the substitution route, This is what A equals. I'm going to put that amount where the A is in my other equation. Okay? So let's do the substitution step. So 25, here's the substitution step, because remember, this is the amount that we're putting in place of that A. 600 minus D plus 32D equals that. All right, my friends, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do to test that you've watched this to the end, okay? I want you to finish that. Solve that, distribute, solve for D. And once you get D, how many you sold at the door, you've got to find how many you sold in advance. All right, so that's going to be my check that you completed the video. Complete that problem and come in next class with it done.